by uncovering hidden stories, verifying lost technical details, and dispelling long-standing myths. Her team's restoration of The Godfather earned her the first ever HPA Award for Best Restoration. She is currently writing a book on the history of VistaVision, drawing on her deep industry connections and decades of experience to the definitive story of this groundbreaking format. It's my pleasure to introduce Charlotte Parker.
Hello. So how many of you are here for We're No Angels? You're probably the first people to do a double feature of a horizontal 8-perf VistaVision film. I think that's really cool. This has never happened before. In any case, if any of you missed the history of VistaVision presentation that I gave and are wondering what is VistaVision, I'm going to give a quick Cliff Notes version. If any of you have heard this before, if you've heard it twice before, I apologize. I'm going to make this really quick. So VistaVision was Paramount's answer to CinemaScope. It is a widescreen process that was developed in-house at Paramount. Unlike traditional 35mm film, it ran horizontally through the camera and it captured an image across two 35mm frames, giving a wider screen image. So this gave filmmakers a larger negative area, and it was only meant as a projection or as a camera format, never as a projection format, which we're going to see today. So films that were shot in VistaVision were printed down to a standard 35mm 4-perf format for release, allowing theaters to screen them on any projector and not to need special projection equipment. But naturally, once executives started showing off this beautiful new format in 1954, everyone started asking, can we see it in native 8-perf VistaVision format? So a handful of projectors were built and the horizontal format was shown in a few lucky cities around the world, like you're going to see it here today. So not every film that came out in VistaVision was released in the 8-perf format. The print for tonight's screening was discovered in the Paramount Pictures archive. Last summer, I was doing a deep dive, just poking around, looking for anything that was VistaVision related because I'm very nosy and I just like to look for anything that's VistaVision. And I came across one reel of the print Gunfight at the OK Corral that was located in the archive. The rest of the reels were all located off-site. So, me being curious, I went up to the 3rd floor, I grabbed the reel off the rack, and I went down to the bench, threw it up, and I saw an image of Burt Lancaster. Clear, vibrant, and in surprisingly great condition, and it was in fact a print. I snapped a photo and I sent it to Andrea Callis, who was the SVP of the archives at the time. She's now over at Iron Mountain, there for all of your storage needs, if any of you need storage. And I asked if she knew anything about these prints, and she didn't. And she was just as impressed with the print as I was, and not just because it was a beautiful picture of Burt Lancaster, but because of the condition it was in. When it came time to pitch ideas to TCM this year for different things to show at the festival, I added my usual VistaVision wish list to the mix. The year before, I had proposed a VistaVision celebration for the 70th anniversary of VistaVision, but it was Columbia's 100th anniversary, and that took center stage, as it should. That's a much better milestone to highlight. But this time I thought, why not go big or go home, pitch, hey, we got some VistaVision film prints, and if you can find a VistaVision projector, you can show them. And to my surprise, instead of just saying no, they said, maybe. And suddenly it wasn't just a crazy idea, it was actually an idea that might be happening. And over the holidays, we all got to work. Charlie and Genevieve at TCM got to work checking out all of the stuff at TCM to see if they could make it happen. Chapin and Sean at Boston Light Sound started investigating to see if they could get some projectors to make it work. The team at Paramount and I, we started inspecting the prints. Did we actually have complete prints? We didn't know at the time. Could we actually show the prints that we had and make those work? By January, we were all in. We all had the parts that could work, and then started a massive team effort. So let me just take a moment to acknowledge a few people that maybe you haven't heard of here. There are some folks at TCM who took the time to inspect, clean, and prepare these prints that you're going to see. You won't notice their work, but that's the point. They make these films shine without ever being noticed. We don't notice your work, but we do notice you. Elena and Jesse, who inspected the prints, everybody give them a round of applause. They did a great job. And Joe Caracappa at ProTech. There was one reel of this print that had a printing error. And all of the dissolves actually in this one reel dissolved out of frame by a few perforations. Just one reel. But we found a creative way to splice this reel to correct it so that you could watch this film properly so that it would stay in frame. Keep an eye out, see if you can spot the reel. Joe fixed this reel for you, so give a round of applause for Joe. Now just a few words about the film itself. Gunfight is one of the 7 collaborations between Kirk Douglas and Burt Lancaster. And despite powerful performances by the pair, neither actor received an Oscar nomination for this film. At the 1958 Academy Awards, they famously spoofed their snub with the song, "It's Great Not to Be Nominated." It's a very cheeky number. And if you haven't seen it, that is your homework tonight or tomorrow. Go home, Google this, find this song, because it was such a hit at the Oscars that year. So much so that the Academy invited them back to open the Academy Awards ceremony the following year, when again, they weren't nominated. And again, they sang their sarcastic little hearts out. Kirk even ended the number by standing on Burt's shoulders, which showcased Burt's circus-trained acrobatic roots. You're gonna see this athleticism tonight on full display in this film, especially during the climatic shootout when Burt pulls off a wild tumble mid-gunfight. It's a small moment, but it's a classic Lancaster moment. He always gives 100%, even in the dust and heat of a Western standoff. And now that we have these projectors all set up and ready to go, let's ask TCM to do this again next year, because we still have more prints than we ever had. And I still have a huge wish list of VistaVision films that I want to show you guys. So enjoy the ride and welcome to Gunfight at the OK Corral as you've never seen it before.